What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with another physique update of Michal Krizo on his road to his Olympia qualification for 2024. So we are still waiting for his confirmation regarding the Emperor Classic Spain because we are now less than 9 weeks out of that show. But here is the thing, if he is actually going for that show, the conditioning that he is in right now, it won't be a problem for him. Krizo stays in a very good shape, in a very lean condition even at the peak of his off-season. And judging by his current look, he can surely be ready in time. And from the looks of his current conditioning, it's safe to say that he is already in prep. So before Michal Krizo and Goodvito switched to the IB Pro League, we always wondered, which one out of these two guys, Krizo and Goodvito, who is going to have a bigger future in the Pro League, who is going to be a bigger bodybuilding star in the future? And now that we have seen both Michal Krizo and Goodvito on the stage multiple times, it is pretty much easier to answer that question now. Although Michal Krizo is top 7 in the world right now, he's a top 10 Olympian no matter how deep the lineup is. But I believe Goodvito will be a lot more dangerous in a few years, especially once he adds on more density, once he gets that muscle maturity. Because we just saw that at Detroit Pro, that his legs, his lower half is absolutely crazy. It already rivals the top guys. He just needs to put in more work on his upper half, especially more density in his arms and his shoulders. Now, both of these guys have another commonality. Both of them are being criticized for the way these guys pose on the stage. So Michal Krizo has definitely come a long way in terms of the overall improvement in terms of posing and presentation, especially if we compare his posing to Prague Pro 2022, which was his first pro show in the Pro League, versus Prague last year. So Goodvito has also come a long way since he got his pro card. And if only he changes the placement of his feet, he can display more quad separation. So as of right now, we do not exactly know what the plans of Goodvito are moving forward, when he's gonna compete next. So far, he has had a very impactful year. He has done 2 pro shows so far. He surprised everyone at the Arnold Classic Brazil, because there were so many questions regarding him before that. How will he do in a pro lineup? How will he compare with some big pros? And then he absolutely shocked the entire bodybuilding world just a couple of days ago at Detroit Pro. But here is another factor. He needs to be smart about picking up his next show. He isn't winning the New York Pro, so that is out of the question. So between Michal Krizo and Goodvito, who is gonna place higher at the Olympia in 2 years from now? So as of right now, Michal Krizo is obviously a much bigger and more complete bodybuilder. But I believe Goodvito has more potential. I think he is gonna be a lot more dangerous, especially in a couple of more years. So no upcoming New York Pro for Laszlo Kiraly. His coach just upped his food, and there is no way he's gonna make the weight cutoff in just 4 weeks' time. So, with the weight limit being discussed so much for classic physique, I have a question for you guys. Have you ever wondered why the reigning Mr. Olympia champion, Chris Bumstead, never once struggled to make the weight cutoff in classic physique, like some of the other tall guys do? I mean, Chris is one of the tallest guys in classic physique division, and not just the tallest guy, but he actually is the biggest and probably the widest guy on the stage as well. He's wider than everyone, and that is what makes him so unique. That is why he stands out so much on the stage. So it is gonna be the 8th consecutive Mr. Olympia for Chris Bumstead. And never once did we hear him complain or talk about the difficulties of making the classic physique weight cutoff. And here is my explanation for that. Chris Bumstead, we all know, is definitely a different breed. And just like it is so hard for people to believe that Flex Wheeler at the Arnold Classic 1993, which some people believe was the greatest physique to walk on the bodybuilding stage ever. Do you guys know that Flex Wheeler at that show only weighed 218 pounds? So Chris Bumstead might have that same bone structure, and that is why it is so easy for him to make the weight. Now, coming back to Laszlo Kiraly. He's blessed with one of the best proportions, not now, but ever in the bodybuilding history. But here is the problem. His legs are still lagging. They are still behind in development in comparison to his upper half. And although he did tell us that he is working on his legs the most, especially for this prep, but with this weight cap hanging over his head, I'm not really sure how much muscle he can pack on his quads. How he is gonna turn a weak body part into his strength with a weight limit. But even with that discrepancy between his upper and lower half, he's still one of the most exciting talents in classic physique. So one of the videos of Laszlo that went absolutely viral was when he was a few weeks out of the show. And he looked absolutely at his best, with more fullness and with more density on his frame. So will he ever be able to bring that kind of look to the stage? Because if he does, he's gonna be a problem. Well, As of right now, we're gonna have to wait and see, because he is very much determined to prove everyone wrong and bring a much more balanced package this time. Up next, we have a big announcement by the conqueror William Bonac. I told you guys there are only 14 pro shows left for this 2024 season, and some very big names who have yet to earn their Olympia qualification. If these guys decide to do multiple shows, it is gonna be a problem for a lot of these guys. And some of these guys who made it to the Olympia stage last year, I'm afraid they won't be there this time. So about William Bonac's announcement, the first show that he's gonna be doing is Spain Pro, which is happening in June, and then he's gonna be doing Portugal Pro in July. So Behrouz Tabani is getting ready for Spain, and Andrea Presti, who have won Portugal Pro for 3 consecutive years, so he is most probably gonna try to defend his title there. Now, if William Bonac comes anywhere close to his 2022 look, the one we saw at the Arnold Classic 2022, he is gonna create some problems for a lot of these guys. Now the question is, can he bring something similar to what we saw from him at the Olympia 2017? That in my opinion was his best look ever. If you ask me, realistically speaking, that is not possible at this point, because no one beats Father Time. Eventually it catches up to everyone. Now I would love to be wrong on this one, as nothing will be more exciting than watching a veteran rising to the top again at the tail end of their career. So how high can William Bonac place at this year's Mr. Olympia? Well, if we go by his last 2 performances, the one at the Olympia and then at the Arnold, he was 9th at the Olympia 2022, and he wasn't even able to make top 6 at the Arnold Classic 2023. And he even got beat by Akeem Williams at that show. And you have to keep in mind that Arnold Classic 2023 version, that was a lot better than the Olympia 2022. So on a different note, the 2024 bodybuilding season is starting to get more and more exciting, as more and more competitors are announcing their shows and when they are going to compete in 2024. And the way 2024 has been going so far, I believe this is going to be one hell of a year for the entire bodybuilding sport. Next up, we have a physique update of Vlad, 5 weeks out of his next show, Korea Pro. I feel like Vlad is playing it so smart going for this show, because the athletes from the New York Pro and some others will most probably do California Pro, which is happening just 1 week after the New York Pro. And Korea Pro is also happening that same weekend as Cali Pro. But as of right now, there are no big names going for that show. And this gives Vlad such a good opportunity to win that show and qualify for the Olympia 2024, and for the second time in his career. And one of the reasons why all these big names who have yet to qualify for the Olympia, they are not choosing Korea Pro, is because of traveling issues. So Vlad is packed with muscles on top of muscles. But the problem with Vlad is that he lacks symmetry. His problem is his wide waist. He lacks the flow, he lacks the aesthetics. And that was one of the reasons why he wasn't even able to make top 5 at Portugal Pro last year. And we have to keep in mind, that was a relatively weak lineup. So that was 1 year ago. And Vlad once again looks super impressive in all of his Instagram pictures. But his biggest weakness is his wide and big waist. And that gets really exposed in comparison while he's standing next to some aesthetic guys. Nonetheless, if the roster for Korea Pro doesn't change, and if some of these guys keep ignoring Korea Pro, Vlad is going to have a perfect opportunity to get a victory there and get to the Olympia stage in 2024. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.